Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today on the channel I'm going to share three tips that I think any person can use to improve their ability at climbing hills on the bike. Okay guys, now in this video I want to just share three tips that I think any rider can use to become more efficient and a better hill climber on the bike. And the first thing I want to talk to you guys about today is the importance of taking deep breaths and breathing, having consistent breathing while you're on the hills. Now, one of the areas that I see guys panic the most is on a steep hill, okay? And that's when I see guys like have all this, erratic breathing going on, is on steep hills. I think it's very important that you take deep breaths, and most important part of the breath cycle, in my opinion, when you're climbing, is to exhale. I like to forcefully exhale. Basically, blow that carbon dioxide, get it out of your body. Carbon dioxide is basically the exact opposite of what you want in your body. You want to have oxygen coming into your lungs rapidly on climbs, and the more forcefully you blow that carbon dioxide out of your mouth, okay, the more rapidly and the more oxygen you can inhale back in, and efficient climbing, and not building up too much fatigue in your muscles and in your blood while you're climbing has a lot to do with your breathing. And a big part of your breathing is to simply get all that bad oxygen, get all that bad carbon dioxide, get all that used oxygen. Get that out of your body. Blow it out as hard as you can, and that's going to help you. That's just going to naturally, the more forcefully you blow that air out, the more that good oxygen is going to come rushing back into your lungs, and get more oxygen to your muscles and allow you to climb faster. So you don't hear a lot of guys talking about breathing, but especially when you're climbing, okay, because climbing is such an oxygen demanding aspect of cycling that I think it goes a lot of times unnoticed. And I see guys have these weird breathing patterns, and I've even seen some guys like trying to hold their breath on hills, and that's the absolute worst thing you can do, is hold your breath on a climb. I mean, you want to be blowing air out. I mean, it doesn't matter what you sound like, okay? It doesn't matter what you sound like or what people think you look like when you're climbing. Get that air out, because the more you blow it out, the more you can suck back in and keep fresh oxygen, good oxygen going to your muscles. So breathing is a very important aspect of strong climbing, so work on your breathing. Okay guys, and the second thing I wanted to talk about with you guys on as far as climbing tips is, especially if you're on a long climb, if this tip here isn't more or less for short climbs where it's going to take you, a minute or less to climb, but if you're on a 5, 10, 15, half-hour climb, I think it's very important that you rotate the demand and the stresses that you're putting on your muscles, and the easiest way to accomplish this is to rotate between in the saddle and out of the saddle riding. Now, when I first got into cycling, I was a big out of the saddle hill climber. I would climb mostly out of the saddle. Today, I would say that's actually flipped for me, and I have actually become more of an in the saddle climber. And I just find I'm more efficient that way. But in general, I think it's important that you rotate, especially on a long climb. I like to rotate between seated and standing climbing, because when you're seated, it puts a different stress on different muscles than it does when you're standing up out of the climb. So, and the way I, as far as when and how I rotate, it just goes down to feel. And when I feel like I need to stand up and give my seated muscles a break, I will stand up and I will, stand climb for a bit. And conversely, when I get a little bit fatigued, when those muscles get a little bit fatigued, I will sit back down and resume some seated climbing. But in general, I'm a big fan of rotating it back and forth. I think it's important that you try to reduce the overall amount of stress on each of those muscles in your legs, and a good way to do that is to simply rotate between seated and standing climbing. This way here, you're kind of more evenly working your leg muscles and not just putting one continuous stress on one muscle group. So rotate back and forth between seated and standing climbing. I think that'll also be a good tip for you guys to use, which will make you more efficient at climbing. Okay, guys, and my third tip is by no means my my least valuable tip. In fact, it is the most valuable tip, and that's why I wanted to end with this tip in this video. The number 3 tip, but in my opinion, the most important tip to good climbing and to more efficient climbing is cadence, cadence, cadence. You guys know I'm a big fan of cadence, and simply put, I think you can become a more efficient climber and a better, faster hill climber if you increase your cadence. Now, for a lot of you guys, including myself, that's probably going to boil down to making a gear change on your bicycle. Long story short here, guys, I could talk to you guys for an hour on this topic alone. Okay, I'm that passionate about cadence, especially when it comes to climbing. But in general, if you go out to your favorite hill, whatever your favorite hill is around your local area, or your favorite hill, the hill that challenges you the most, okay, go to that hill. If you cannot maintain 80 to 100 cadence on that climb, you need to change your gearing. That's my opinion, okay? A lot of guys will disagree with me, but that's my opinion, and what I think will help a lot of you out there is try to maintain 80 to 100 cadence on your favorite hill or on your most challenging hill. If you cannot maintain 80 to 100 cadence on the entire hill, not just a portion of it, not just the bottom or the top, you know, the entire hill, if you cannot ride the entire climb and maintain 80 to 100 cadence, in my opinion, you should make a gear change to your bike which will accommodate you to maintain an 80 to 100 cadence. Since I've been going to high cadence riding, I have become a faster climber, I've become a more efficient climber, and in general, it's just really improved my cycling. So, as far as I'm concerned, like I said, guys, in prior videos, cadence is king on the hills. It just puts a lot less stress on your body, a lot less stress on your leg muscles, a lot less stress on your blood. Okay, your blood is going to fatigue less if you're spinning a higher cadence. So do whatever gear modifications you need to do to your bike so you can maintain 80 to 100 cadence on your favorite climb. Okay, I have actually kind of gone even above that personally, and myself, I try to maintain 100 to 120 cadence on my favorite climbs. That's right, 120 cadence. I want to climb hills at 110 to 120 cadence. It might sound strange to a lot of people, but that's just it works for me. It's improved my cycling immensely, and I think more people would experience benefits from using a generalized increase in cadence on the climbs. And for most of us, it doesn't mean, you know, squatting big weights and becoming a stronger rider so you can push bigger gears. It simply becomes a matter of changing your gears so you can maintain a higher cadence. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed these 3 tips. If you found this video informative, please give me a thumbs up. I'm going to try to continue to keep these informational vlogs coming, things that I believe in, things that I'm passionate about, things that have worked for me. If you guys like these, give me a thumbs up. I'll try to make more. And as always, I appreciate you guys tuning in, supporting the channel, and I'll see you guys right back here in the next video.